Hey everybody, morning. Michelle is here in the building, relaxing and waiting around. My realtor should be over here later today taking pictures so we can get this ball rolling. I want to kind of answer something that I heard that was asked, and this person don't know who I'm talking to. but and like I said, I'm so appreciative that this particular person is, and they'll know who they are. That they're reaching deep within and asking these deep within questions that we were not trained as young people to do, right? Growing up in our household, there was a different set of responsibilities and accountabilities, and the main thing was my dad kept pushing. Getting a job and learning how to do things, learning how to do things with your hands. He wasn't so focused on all this intellectual stuff. I mean, that was, your intellect can't fix. Can your intellect change a light bulb? Your hands do that. You know what I mean? So he was into that kind of thing. My mom was more or less. My mom, I don't remember her really. Her main thing for me, like I said, was not to get pregnant. That was almost a threat to me. That's more or less what I was picking up from her. And like I said, with my dad, he was more so into fixing things, knowing how to use your hands, knowing how to figure things out on your own, learning. Just learning and learning and learning. And that's by experiencing. Like I said, my dad, he was a great electrician. He never went to school for that. Carpentry. He could do all of that stuff. He can build a house if he needed to. So, so you need those type of skills, and being able to be a visionary. My dad was a visionary type, like I am. I'm similar to him. We keep our emotions in check. We keep our feelings in check. Not that we don't have them, but we keep them in check. You can't be all emotional and carrying on and panicking. When there's an emergency, you have to respond and be able to resolve whatever is going on or find solutions and blah blah blah. So this question was asked: what is my purpose? Well, let me just tell you what I discovered, and I think this particular person, and they know who I'm talking to. You're at the right age to where you need to be asking those kind of questions. This is my point. So don't feel like you should know what your purpose is, right out of the box. No, you need to be developing yourself to a certain level to be ready to know that, right? Some people they don't care about their purpose. What they care about is, how much I can earn, materialism, so to speak. But purpose. Okay, so knowing your purpose. And so I didn't discover too much because, like I said, I felt like I was behind the 8 ball because I was the last person to leave the house. And it was like, I felt like I needed to catch up. But thankfully, that was not the case. I realized that what was the most important thing for me was to be on to be just aware of where the hell am I. I think I've always have been curious about my reality, right? Remember I told you I was in the tub one day. I don't know, very young girl, under 12. I mean, not past 12, looking in the water, in the tub, and looking for myself in the reflection. I saw a reflection there, but I didn't connect to it. So my purpose was always to get connected to something, a source of something. So that has always been I've been driven to do and striving and thriving. What is the connection? So to me, that was a spiritual side, and within me, just seeking to connect to me, and get me out of my trance, And so, like I said, when meditation came in, it helped me to stay focused, because meditation is mainly about focusing and being observant and in a clear reality. Because we could all get captured in our imagination and our fantasies, which is fine. If, like I said, if you know that you are imagining and fantasizing, but you know what your reality is, okay? Because you're paying attention to that. You know where you're standing or sitting. You know what you feel, sense, hear, see, taste. You have to bring in all of those senses to know, okay, am I dealing in genuine reality here? Or am I fantasizing? Okay, because it's okay to fantasize, but at some point you'll have to come to a reality and say, okay, what is my reality? Okay, what do I want? And those are the kind of questions you're going to have to ask yourself. What do I want? Now, if it's materialism, okay, I wouldn't. You're going to find out that's not going to do it for you. Okay, so when I was continually asking the question of that, I came to the realization that it is about being in reality and being righteous and doing the right things, but also to be in a loving, intimate relationship as well. Okay, to know what that feels like, what that does to my senses, because I think intimate love is so important to developing as well. You need an intimate love. Yes, an intimate love can mean so much between the partners. They have to talk that through to know what that means to each other. That's important, though, to have a connection to someone. Okay, the yin and the yang, like I said. Whether people want to dismiss that or not, which is irrelevant. A lot of these talking head intellectuals, I would pay less attention to them and start creating your own reality within yourself by keeping journals. You can do a voice journal like I'm doing. You can write. I don't like writing anymore. I think that writing thing is still, my writer's block is still there. I just don't have that desire. And I think I've injured my hands and stuff from working around the house here, that my hands won't be able to take a lot of writing and typing too. All that stuff is. So that's why I like talking more now and just kind of voicing my thoughts, my theories and opinions. But so your purpose, try to be creative when you ask that kind of question. Say, well, what do I want? Where, do the who, what, when, where, why, and all that. Where am I? What am I? Who am I? What do I want? What do I need? You got to ask those kind of questions. And you can write it down somewhere and put it away privately. But like for me, my purpose was to connect to the source of my reality. Like, who the fuck am I? Excuse my language. I keep forgetting. And get in touch with something more that like I said, the words can't describe. And so it was a certain level of consciousness is what I determined. And remember now, whether you accept reincarnation or not, that's irrelevant as well, because who's going to prove that to you? So some things are just abstract. But if you think clearly and effectively, why wouldn't we reincarnate? What sense does it make for us to live and not live again? All right. So when you're out in nature makes that very clear and effective. And so when you go out, standing near trees or watching a tree or watching a flower or sitting and just being within nature, outside and looking around. And like I said, well, how does the plants and flowers respond to you? Do they seem excited to see you? I notice it. So yes, so it's about being in reality and knowing what I see is what I see, what I sense is what I sense, and so it's a constant always being vigilant about your reality, and trusting it, and taking some chances. even though there's no such thing as chance. But take a move forward and do something that you might sound crazy to other people, but it might be logical to you. And that's another thing too. Make sure you understand logic, because your subconscious operates off of logic only. So you have to be really careful about your words. That's why I say you should be moving instead of saying I'm going to move. So if you say I'm going to move, that is not the same as moving. And so those are the kind of things you're going to have to really self-educate yourself on your wordings. You always want to do the action words if you want to get some action done. Okay, so visualization, that's what I do. And it works well for me. But keep in mind, like I said, I have over 30 years of meditation. So yes, you just got to build yourself and ask the right questions, but be creative. Ask the question another way. See what you can create out of those kind of questions. And get as much experience as you can. Not necessarily, like work experience. Take a course in electrician, carpentry. Why not? You might like it, or artistry, some type of, artwork, plumbing. I mean, those, like I said, the garbage men seem like the most happiest men that I've come across. The people that have these so-called luxury jobs are the ones, especially the ones that sit in offices all day long. These technical people, they're losing their minds, and they won't tell you that, but they're losing their motherfucking minds, sitting up in these offices all day and night, 8 to 12 hours a day or more, and not going out and getting into the sunshine or the rain or the snow. Nature is nature, and it comes in all forms. It can't always be sunny. Okay, you can play in the rain. Has anybody ever played in the rain? Roll around in the dirt. Have you ever rolled around in the dirt, and be a child again with nobody watching per se? If you got the privacy to do so, be a child. Okay, be a child for a day. Say, I'm gonna go outside, and roll around in the damn dirt and grass or stuff that you have a need to do. I don't like to swim. I'm not a swimmer, but some people like swimming. Just those kind of fun activities. Go to an amusement park by yourself if and whatever. Just do something different and creative, and just and not be so concerned about whether this is right or wrong. I mean, it ought to be right, meaning that you're not trying to inflict harm on anybody with your activity. You're not projecting hate on people. You are talking about love, universal love. Love is love. Love is self-love. Okay, and like I said, hate is self-hate. No matter how these people, you're gonna have people coming. Now that some people are just throwing out just this negativity of rhetoric, a lot of them are going to try to swim back from that and make it seem as though that was not their intentions. And I'm not hearing it until I see it in their behavior and actions. So, but again, the purpose. Yes, don't ask what my purpose is. Ask, who am I and what do I want? And just do it. If something deep within you tells you to move somewhere, get your ass up and move. I know. A lot of people don't like that. But be spontaneous, but be responsible. Be spontaneous and be held accountable. Be spontaneous and have some fun. I'm going to have fun in the next phase of my life. Okay, and however shape that it turns out to be. And I will be in an intimate relationship as well. I'm putting that out there. Okay, I will be. And so I'm going to be enjoying this next phase of my life with someone. Okay. And that makes things richer as well. Yes, I have no problem with aloneness. I made that very clear. But the next phase of my life, I'm going to be in an intimate relationship with someone, and we're going to have fun together. I'm going to be around like-mindedness. We're going to be talking on the same level per se, on the same parallel level of conversation. And it's always going to be about love and developing and how we can help and contribute. And, let's see what this life has in store. And then a year from now, oh my goodness, it's going to be so nice. Like I said, you don't want to stay in the past with reminiscing, but it's going to be nice to be reflecting. There's nothing wrong with reflecting on how much you've developed, how much you've strived, how much you've thrived, how much you've moved forward in your life, and elevating of your consciousness. And what that means is, for me, is there's no beliefs, there's no supernatural. I'm dealing with logic as I understand it, reason, being rational, being understanding, be relatable, being gentle, okay, and working on refining all of that, and knowing exactly what reality is, and that it's in alignment with sensing and receiving and all of the other senses that you have. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm expecting, like I said, my realtor to come over at some point, take some pictures, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'll keep everything posted and keep everything documented, as documented as I can, and enjoying the moment and sitting back, relaxing. But again, be gentle with yourself. When you start asking the right questions, you're gonna get the answers. So that's why you need to make sure your sensing is refined, where you can pick up these instincts of, okay, it's time for me to go. Okay, it's time for me to move on. Stuff like that. You get the answers, but you have to be ready to hear it, because the answers are right there in your face. You just have to be ready to pick it up. It starts with the thoughts. Keep those thoughts neutral. Be aware of your thoughts at all costs. Okay? So peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.